This is In Case You Missed It, your national agriculture news recap for the week ending August 21st, 2026. U.S. President Donald Trump put a pause on 50% tariffs originally meant to take effect on Wednesday. Trump said Canada and the U.S. were nearing a deal to avoid the duties, which stemmed from his administration's complaints for the treatment of American dairy, alcohol, and autos. By Thursday, few details had emerged about the content of the deal. Provincial premiers reported Prime Minister Mark Carney had asked them to put American booze back on the store shelves. A White House proclamation from August 18 said Canada had agreed to remove discriminations around American cheese. Minister responsible for trade with the U.S., Dominic LeBlanc, told media that Canada's supply-managed dairy system would remain intact, but gave no more details. The new tariffs, if imposed, would cover a list of Canadian dairy products, alcohol, wool, honey, and many other items. While much of primary agriculture isn't implicated in the tariffs, it could still have felt secondary impacts, said FCC Chief Economist Craig Johnston. Some of the products threatened were heavily export-reliant. Canada's honey sector exports about a quarter of production, and the U.S. is a key market. Manitoba, however, exported nearly two-thirds of production last year. Fertilizer prices are expected to remain above pre-Iran war levels through 2028, according to a major American agriculture lender. CoBank pointed to the ripple effects of war in the Middle East, coupled with tight supplies. An estimated 31 ammonia plants in the Middle East have been affected by the conflict or have shut down production. Another 41 plants in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh have either shut down or cut production due to lack of feedstocks. Meanwhile, 20 Russian facilities have been damaged by Ukrainian drone strikes. The Middle East supplies more than 60 million tons of fertilizer and raw materials, 3/4 of that shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. After spiking near the start of the war, urea prices fell between April and June on reduced demand and the return of Chinese urea to the market. However, North Dakota State University is predicting a 2027 average price of $496 per ton. Analyst Josh Linville wasn't keen on that forecast. He said today's prices are in the normal trading range. He predicted more volatility than usual in the next year, but said that didn't mean prices would stay high the whole time. Canada is growing more of its own vegetables, but they're not making it to Canadian consumers. That's according to Farm Credit Canada. FCC found that production of fresh vegetables rose by 6.4% in 2025. However, domestic availability, if excluding potatoes, fell for the 7th year running. Canada's fresh vegetable imports have stayed relatively stable, clocking in around $2 billion worth annually. Greenhouse exports have increased from around $1.6 billion in 2020 to more than $2.3 billion in 2025. Almost all of that went to the United States. That's not to say veggies are simply being diverted away from Canadians. FCC said greenhouse exports are usually low in the winter months, then rise into spring and summer when field-grown produce can supply the market. Greenhouse peppers and tomatoes often command higher prices, which raises the incentive to export to nearby U.S. markets. FCC said greenhouse production is one of the fastest-growing sectors in Canadian agriculture. In case you missed these and other stories from across the Glacier Farm Media Network, visit AgCanada.com or download the AgCanada app.